Then question number 14, Q14, Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act. Yes, it will be directly applicable to factories because if you go through the definition of the term industrial establishment as defined under Standing Orders Act itself, it includes factories, right? Otherwise, they have guided to refer the definition given under the Payment of Wages Act. Again, when we go through the definition of industrial or other establishments, that is the term used in Payment of Wages Act, they also do not include commercial establishments directly, right? Unless and otherwise there is some notification given by the appropriate government, then that will not fall under. So Payment of Wages Act will not be automatically applicable to shops and establishments, right? So we may have to check whether there is relevant notification. And of course, in respect of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Haryana, it is there. Applicability is there through Payment of Wages Act. So the Standing Orders Act will be applicable in these states for Shops and Establishments Act also. But with respect to Karnataka, very specifically, exemption is given only for IT and ITES. So this makes us to come to a assumption, except IT and ITES, for other establishments, even though if they belong to shops and commercial establishments category, the Standing Orders Act is applicable. So we may have to draw some inference like that, right? But when it comes to the question of Maharashtra, earlier, I think now it is new Shop Act recently, Maharashtra Shops and Establishments Act. Earlier it was Bombay Shops and Establishments Act. And there was a provision in that act, erstwhile Bombay Shops and Establishments, extending the provisions of standing orders to those people working in the shops and establishments, right? But in the new act, it is missing, right? The position is not so very clear. Probably we may have to check with the authorities concerned to understand it. I'll move on. So question number 15, 26 weeks maternity benefit. I think from 12 weeks, we all know it is increased to 26 weeks maternity, but it is only maximum, right? It is not necessary that every woman should be provided with the entire 26 weeks. But of course, 6 weeks immediately following the actual date of delivery, that is mandatory. Either I think both the employers as well as the individual woman, they do not have any choice. But after 6 weeks, if that woman is medically fit, then if she wants to come for work, she can be permitted, right? So it is not necessary that she should be allowed 26 weeks. And prior to the expected date of delivery, maximum 8 weeks is permitted, not more than that. Then subsistence allowance, yes, whether it is wage or not, again, it will be different for different legislations. When it comes to the question of Payment of Wages Act, yes, it is to be treated as wages. When it comes to the question of ESI, yes, it is wages. In case of PF, there is a specific circular by the department itself. It need not be treated as wages for PF contribution. In case of Payment of Bonus Act, as per the Bombay High Court, it is not considered as salary. So a bonus need not be calculated on the subsistence allowance. But there are contrary views by other states, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Punjab and Haryana High Courts. So there are contrary views as far as subsistence allowance is concerned for Payment of Bonus Act, for the purpose of Payment of Bonus Act, right? But we may have to follow this only, no other go. So it is not uniform, it will be different. Then Q17, whether transfer of an employee, is it a prerogative of the employer? Definitely it is a prerogative of the employer. But I think we discussed last time when we discussed the appointment orders, but there must be a clause giving the right to the employer to transfer a person from one department to another department, from one branch to another branch, like that, from one company to another company. If that is there, then he can, right? It should be there, or it should be there in the as a clause in the standing orders, which is applicable to the individual workers, right? So for big business exigencies, definitely the employer can transfer a person from one place to another place, but it should not be done with malified intention, right? If there is some malified intention is found, then that can be questioned. Question number 18, can the resignation be withdrawn? Yes, before the resignation submitted by the individual is getting accepted by the management, he can withdraw, right? That is number one. Number two is some of the resignation letters, I think that would take effort from the some prospective date. Say today some person may submit resignation letter requesting to relieve that person from the services, say from 30th of September, right? So till 30th of September, this person will have right option to withdraw the resignation already submitted. It is possible.